Okay, welcome to my last lesson. It is about gerunds and infinitives. Your crying faces, I hope you don't cry after this lesson. It might be a little bit confusing, but I try to explain it very, very simple. Okay, let's start. I want you to choose very quick which form is the right form, okay? You have got 2 minutes. So is it we like eating out or we like to eat out? So I pretend to be a student now. We like eating out. I don't know the rule. I just know it reflexively. He's not allowed to do. I've heard this from so much. Does it need to have? They go skiing in winter. You can't smoke here. I told them to be quiet. They keep talking. I don't enjoy skating. I don't know the rule, I just decide by heart. She's good at playing. Do you wish to stop now? Okay, all of them are right because we have experience in talking and speaking. We have listened these forms, unconscious or conscious. I don't know. But these are common rules or common sentences we heard in movies or in books. So, what are gerunds and infinitives? What are they? They're words with a verb meaning. So we use verbs to produce gerunds and infinitives, but they function as a noun in a sentence. This is important. And they can function as a subject or the object in a sentence. That means, there's always subject, verb, object in a sentence, and gerunds and infinitives can both they can be both subject and object. Here are some examples. Infinitive first, as the subject, to dance. It's not the verb of the sentence because the verb is. To dance is all he wants. This is the object. Now the infinitive as object, she is the subject now, likes is the verb, and to read functions as an object. Now the same with gerund. Dancing is his passion. Dancing is our subject here. And the gerund as an object, she likes reading science fiction, okay? Subject, verb, and this is the object. Now, how to build them? This is easy. Just to remember very quickly, the gerund is the verb plus the ing form, and the infinitive is to plus verb. So when do we use the infinitives? We have to learn the verbs. We only take infinitives such as decide, such as hesitate, learn, wish, adopt, promise. Okay, and as I said, some of them are so many used in our brain, in our daily lives, so we use it by heart. We don't know why we use it. We've heard it so much. For example, I decided to go on a trip. I decided to do something. Nesbit plans to buy a new laptop next month. And the same is with gerunds, verbs that only take gerunds. For example, mention, risk, suggest, keep going, keep learning, okay? Resist, avoid, and risk. Maya risks losing her reputation if she publishes this story, okay? But, it's a very big but, you can use both some verbs, but the meaning can change. And this is the difficult part. Some verbs can mean different things when used with infinitives and with gerunds. For example, the verb me. When we use it to form an infinitive, it's an intention, something you plan to, you want to do. I didn't mean to upset you. It was not my plan, okay? And when we use it with a gerund, it's a result. Higher fuel prices will mean getting problems, okay? There's happening and a result, and then we have to use the gerund. This is a little bit difficult. And now, please open your eyes and ears, because we are going to hear this word in the next few minutes very often. Try. Try plus infinitive is making an effort to do something very, very difficult, something which is very hard to do. I want to try studying. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the example for the ing form. It means that you're trying something that is easy to do and you want to experiment something. Then we use this example. I want to try studying with a friend to see if it helps. This is not something difficult to do, okay? So we have to use the ing form. No, now I forgot here to make an example for the infinitive form. Now let's do a little bit brainstorming. I tried to climb the Mount Everest, but that was impossible. I think you got it. You understood what I want to mean. And the last example is a regret. When you use it with an infinitive, that means you regret something and you are about to say, okay? You didn't say it already. And when you use it with a gerund, you feel sorry about something you did, okay? That happened before and you regret it now. And when you use it with an infinitive, that means that you regret something you are about to do. I regret being fat now. That was a very bad example. Okay. We have not finished. After prepositions, we usually use the gerund. For example, can someone stop Farley from acting? Poco is thinking of buying. Okay. After prepositions, okay. Always gerunds. Always, not always, because infinitives, oh, sorry, the exceptions are except and but. When you see the words except and but, you don't use the gerund, you have to use the infinitive. Understood? You have to write all these down in your notebook, because we are going to use these verbs in a few minutes. Farley had no choice but to eat the deadly berries, okay? But and except, infinitive. No difference in meaning or tone, that's the That's the easiest one. Infinitives and gerunds can be used with some verbs and the meaning does not change. For example, Lulu started to sing or Lulu started singing. Pumpkin began to dance. Pumpkin began dancing. You can use both. I know it can be hard to see a difference or to decide what to use, but I think that will develop in your English journey, in your English learning journey. So you have to make an effort to make really, really long listening practice, speaking practice. You have to read, you have to write down as much as you can. So you can decide by heart which one is right, okay? Now we have got a reading task. We have to read and decide which one is right. We have 2 minutes here. A long text about a farmer and his wife. And they got problems with their farm and they try to solve it. And there are 20, I think, verbs where you have to decide which one to use. 5 minutes. Okay, number 1, Farmer Jones met Jane when he was just a young man. He couldn't help. So help. After help, we always use the gerund. Write it down. It's falling. Okay? He couldn't help falling in love with her immediately and asked her to marry him. She said yes, although she knew it would mean. It's getting because we use it as a result. Okay? As I said before. Now, number 3, love means never, mean again. Love means never having to get up early to milk the cows. It's a result again. Now, down. Number 4, Cow said Farmer John and explained that he would continue getting up or to get up, okay? It doesn't change the meaning. You can use both. Everything went well until they tried. Okay, now my favorite word in this text comes over and over again. Try. So which one is right? Try to increase because it's difficult and we don't know if it will be successful or not. Okay, it's not an easy action. Try to increase their profits by buying some chickens. The first night, a fox ate one of the chickens. Farmer Jones decided then to build a fence to protect the chickens, but the ground was too hard, so he couldn't. He tried, number 7, to use, because he tried it, he couldn't use it, it was too hard. He tried to use an axe to break the ground, but it was much too hard. So he went to the local shop and tried to buy a gun. We know this from the context because it's not easy to buy a gun, but he didn't have any identification, so he couldn't buy one, okay? Now, this gives us a hint. He tried once again to borrow one from his neighbors. Is borrow difficult? No, but once again, we can see it from the context. He tried to borrow one from his neighbors, but they were all worried about the fox too. I regret not to buy. When I had those rabbit problems, he told Jane, okay, regret, we talked about it, something happened in the past, and now we regret it. So Jane went to the shop and bought a gun. That night she once again tried to stop Fox. She tried it, but she failed. At first she tried to scare the fox by shooting into the air, but it didn't work. It's always two. So she tried to hit the fox, but she missed. That was a fail again. She called her husband and he ran after the fox to try to catch, but he wasn't fast enough. Fail again. Now, they tried shouting at the fox. Shouting is an easy act, and they tried to throw things at it. Okay, throw things is easy. And they tried leaving other food for the fox, but nothing worked. Okay, always the inform. Soon they had only one chicken left. They tried asking their neighbors for help. Okay, this is an easy action. And one of their neighbors told them to try putting tiger dung on the ground. Inform, because that's easy. So they went to the local zoo to try it. Buying some tiger dung, or you can use also to buy, because we don't know if this was successful. They put the dung on the ground and they never saw the fox again. I knew this text was a little bit hard, but I wanted you to see that you always have to think of the main verb, and it's a little bit of learning. As homework, please study the list. There are many lists in the World Wide Web where you can write down verbs who always take a gerund, and verbs who always take the infinitive, and verbs who change the meaning. So make a list, make a chart, and then we will talk about that next lesson with the class. Bye bye.